these hands, mountains can be moved. With these hands, a home is made. With these hands, baby's cry is soothed. With these hands, the words are prayed. And everything begins with these hands. Now, if you want to count, with these hands, work of God will be. With these hands, we shall create. With these hands, the work of God has begun. With these hands, we lift the weight. With these hands, mountains can be moved. With these hands, a home is made. With these hands, a baby's cry is. With these hands, words are prayed. And everything begins with these hands. Well, I think this is pretty good. Are we ready to do it for real? Because we're going to put it out on Zoom so the people at home can hear us. Are you ready over there on Zoom? Okay, here we go. With these hands, the work of God will be done. We shall create. The work of God has begun. We lift the weight. Mountains can be moved. A home is made. A baby's cry is soothed. Words are prayed, and everything begins with these hands. When the doors open and one person passes through, the beginnings of a larger group with many things to do. As the seats are filling up and one becomes a few, the list of things that must be done are divided into two. The work of God will be done. We shall create. The work of God has begun. We lift the weight. Mountains can be moved. A home is made. A baby's cry is soothed. And words are prayed. And everything begins with these hands. All the jobs upon the list are marked off one by one. Everyone has a task assigned, and it shall be done. Laughter starts to fill the air as our races run. Many hands make lighter work, and then so much more fun. With these hands, the work of God will be done. We shall create. The work of God has begun. We lift the weight. Mountains can be moved. A home is made. A baby's cry is soothed, the words are prayed, and everything begins with these hands. We'll sing that last line again. Everything begins with these hands. Hold your hands up, and everything begins with these hands. Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Okay, it's time for a sermon. Of sorts. I know you're not used to seeing me here, but they said fill the space. Yeah, yes. Thank you, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Brock.
Give me 1 second. There we go. Good morning. Happy day. Thank you. I'm very honored to be here today. Thank you. Jerry, I'm going to move some of this stuff. Is that okay? I hope it is. There we go. All right. The magic coin, y'all. Good morning and welcome to today's lesson, the magic coin. I realize that's a little bit of a whimsical tale kind of title, sort of like the frog and the quarterback, but I think that in a minute, you're going to discover that it's very real and very true. First, I want to acknowledge that it's a continuation and a new beginning at Unity Spiritual Center. And I want you to know that I'm very honored to be standing here, and it's humbling for me, and I'm sure Reverend Jerry as well, to be asked to follow in the steps of Reverend Maggie, who has impressive and capable footsteps. And if I'm being honest, and you know that I will always be honest with you, every time I sat down to start writing today's lesson, I found myself stalling. I was wondering what to say, which you know is pretty unusual because I usually have a lot to say. But so I went to my bedroom and I meditated on a while. I looked at previous teachings. I even looked up Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore's teachings to get some ideas. But every time I started, I either got writer's block or I decided to take a nap, or I just didn't think my ideas were very good. I kept judging myself. Eventually, I realized that, frankly, y'all, I was afraid. And that made no sense to me because I'd been so excited about this opportunity of speaking on the first day after Reverend Maggie retired. I've been passionate about unity for decades, about 43 years, I guess, and I'm eager to share the tools and lessons that have helped me so much in my life. But the thought of standing up here in front of y'all for the first time without Reverend Maggie sitting right there, I felt vulnerable. And I realized that was what was going on with me. What if I say something foolish? What if I mess up? Well, once I realized what was going on in my head, I knew exactly what I needed to talk about today. You see, I've learned quite a lot about fear and vulnerability, strength and power. And over the years, but clearly today, preparing for today's talk, I had forgotten some of those lessons. We live in a world that prefers things either or, a world where we think this or that. Then that vulnerability is weakness. Either you're scared or you're brave. Either you're afraid or you're powerless. But oh my goodness, y'all, that is so untrue. The fact of the matter is that being vulnerable requires us to have strength. Strength and vulnerability are two sides of the same coin, hence the magic coin. And I think Jerry mentioned that there is a magic coin there for everyone. Be careful because one of them is chocolate, so you can enjoy some sweets while I talk. And the other one is the magic coin, and I'll talk about what you're going to do with that a little bit later. Vulnerability is to be cherished because when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we then can love, we can create, we can grow. And we must take risks to make the most out of our life. Risk require you making decisions, and making yourself vulnerable requires strength. The same is true for fear and power. Your power lies in what you fear. It's also true of being brave and being afraid, like I was trying to write this sermon. There is no courage if you're not afraid. Have you ever heard that before? There is no courage if you're not afraid. There's nothing brave about walking through a world that doesn't present challenges and obstacles, a life where failure and pain is never going to be a possibility. When we are talking about facing our fear, we are talking about making ourselves vulnerable, and that takes strength and courage. They are two sides of the same coin. The magic coin. And when you find yourself feeling vulnerable, take that coin that I gave you and flip it over to the other side and find your strength. Grab that coin, either one will do, and start just holding that and feeling that, and let the energy of magical strength be there for you. We are taught to see vulnerability as weakness. So a lot of us armor up in the morning when we get up so we can avoid being seen as weak. Sometimes some of us even put on more armor so we don't fail at work or look foolish on a date, which I haven't been on one in a while. We carry that armor around all day without realizing how much that armor actually keeps us from moving about freely and passionately. When we are armored up, the bad stuff can't get in, but y'all, neither can the good stuff. Now consider this. Instead of armoring up every day, instead remind yourself that you are a divine expression of spirit. You have a right to be here exactly like you are. So drop the armor and walk affirming in oneness with spirit. Commit to embracing your vulnerability, because this is how you open your heart to intimacy. It's how you open your heart to creativity and innovation. And it's how you open your life to success. Remember, you are always free to be vulnerable in the presence of Spirit, because with Spirit, you are loved and you are blessed. You have strength, agency, and affirmation. Dr. Brene Brown, I'm sure we all know her, who has written extensively about a wholehearted life, calls this exercise I'm talking about daring greatly. And she named that daring greatly after a quote by Teddy Roosevelt. And I'm going to try to paraphrase that for you. And he said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points how strong the man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, striving valiantly, who may err, who may fall short, because there is no effort without error. The credit belongs to the person who strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm in a worthy cause, the person who will, at best, know the triumph of high achievement, and who will, at worst, if he fails, at least fail while daring greatly." So that's what I mean, y'all, about when I say the magic coin. When there is failure, heartache, or fear, turn the coin over and find transformation there. When we recognize and lean into our own vulnerability, rather, we become stronger, we become bolder and braver, and life becomes so much richer. So let's show up for life. Let's get in there and give it our all. And when you have seized your power. You've found your strength. And there are other magic coins, as I mentioned just a minute ago, with courage and fear. Where is the bravery in living a life that has no obstacles or challenges? There is only bravery when we choose to move beyond or despite our fears of getting up here and talking. We don't think of power and fear being in the same space in our head and heart usually. We're taught that fear renders us powerless. But when we face our fear, y'all, we claim the power that God has always made available to us. I thought back of myself as a little boy at this point at the swimming pool we had in our backyard, which I never swam in. I was standing on the diving board for the first time, and I was going to jump. But y'all, I was so afraid. I stood there for what seemed like almost an hour, and I got off the diving board maybe 4 or 5 times, and then got back up and stood there and looked at the water, afraid, just like I was afraid to get up here today for some reason. I knew I always had the power to be a big boy and to jump, but I gave that power to my fear that day. I gave it away. But when I finally decided to face my fear, I reclaimed that power I had given away, and guess what? I jumped. And y'all, I was so proud of myself. My heart was racing. I couldn't wait to do it again. I was exhilarated. So in fear, I found my power. And there's no difference in adulthood. As we apply for a new job, when we share our feelings with others, or get up and speak at church, if we fear rejection and allow that fear to stop us, we have in fact rejected ourselves. We've made our fear come true. So I say, let's seize our power. Let's know we have all the power of Spirit within us. We are grateful, and we dare greatly with the gifts that we have been given. Now you know the story of how I came about the magic coin. So there's one more thing I want to share with you today. And this is sort of not part of this sermon, I guess, but it's coming from my heart. I want you to rest assured that Reverend Jerry, the Board of Trustees, and I will do everything in our power to not just keep our church going, our beloved community going, but to ensure that it flourishes. Reverend Jerry and I both have increased our hours in the office to 20 hours each per week. I've submitted a proposal to the board about moving forward together while also planning for growth and enriching our membership services and events. We are all walking this new journey together, hand in hand. So it's my sincere desire that we all engage with this process while supporting one another as we navigate this new era of USC. And I personally promise you, I will show up and I will step up. And I will dare greatly in my role here. I might talk a little country at times or get a little goofy sometimes, but I will get up here and I will be real and I will show myself to you and my heart to you. Every time I speak or give a lesson or a workshop, I will be giving my whole heart authentically and with compassion. I'm fortunate enough to have experienced personally and been lifted by Unity's principles for so many years, the practices and the spiritual tools. They have nourished me, they've changed me, supported me, strengthened me, and put me on the path that has led me here today to be with you. So I will endeavor with the words that I am inspired to share with you to bring the palpable presence of Spirit into this place and to help strengthen it in all of our lives. All I ask is that each of you continue to show up and step up. And with me, let's dare greatly. Together, we will deepen our connection with Spirit and with each other. We will work together for the goodness of our beloved community, forging a path to ourselves and all who enter this ocean of love that is Unity Spiritual Center. Thank you, and so it is. And as we move into our meditation time, let's get comfortable, take a deep cleansing breath and close your eyes if you're willing, and feel supported, feel safe, and feel at ease. I want you to imagine the armor of your heart opening fully. Imagine it releasing all of you and showing your true self to the world. Let yourself be totally visible to the world. The light, the dark, the dreams, and the fears. Continue to breathe naturally and allow your vulnerability to rise and lift out of your heart. Visualize it floating out into the universe, exposed. Affirm that Spirit receives all that you release from under that armor without judgment and with love. Now, look and realize that underneath that armor, you find glowing embers that Spirit can now nurture within you. This is the strength of your heart, the fire, the passion that motivates you to move into the world open and free of vulnerability. Experience it, feel it, and welcome it. Gentle breathing in and out. Living this way, you embrace your full self. You nurture creativity. You accept risk without fear. And you take your glow out into the world to live your wholehearted life. Daring greatly, stepping up, and showing up. Let's take a sweet, gentle breath as we open our eyes, come back to this place in this present moment, and we say, thank you, Spirit. Namaste. Welcome back.
Thank you, Brock. And any lesson that involves chocolate is okay with me. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. We don't need that.
One more slide. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. Please join me in saying them aloud. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in this space, feeling so inspired by our vision, mission, and values, and feeling so enriched by what we've experienced here today, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. As Michael shares yet another beautiful song, please take time to write out a check to USC, or if you are on Zoom, to make a donation online through the link that's on our website. If you are here in the sanctuary, the ushers will come forward to take your offering. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we are pleased to tithe 10% of the offering collected every Sunday to various Unity organizations and local nonprofits serving our city. So let us take a moment now to bless our tithes and love offerings, cupped in our hands or next to our hearts, as we say our offering blessing, which is on the screen behind me, or will be. Oh, it's there? It's not here.
It's a little laggy on Zoom today.
Okay. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Okay, we're going to get serious while we do the offering. So you guys can come forward, and I'm going to start this music, and we'll get serious, and we're going to lighten up. Okay, you understand about that? That means let's seriously work at lightening up. Does that make sense? Here we go. Get your 70s funk on. If you do decide to dance, it's okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get serious and lighten up. Don't worry about a thing. Everybody sing. Let's get serious and lighten up. If it don't get done today, we shall find another way. Let's get serious and lighten up. 'Cause if you're gonna do the gig, grab a tool and dig. That means pick up a tool. I got a list that's a mile long. I got to work it out. That's what I'm all about. But I'm laughing, that's for sure. It's more than I can do. I'll be done when I am through. I'll hit my numbers. I'll make the grade. I know I'll get it done and still have time for fun. The mountains high, the valley low, low, low. I've had enough of talking. I've got my feet a walking. Let's get serious and lighten up. Don't worry about a thing. Everybody sing. Let's get serious and lighten up. If it don't get done today, we shall find another way. Let's get serious and lighten up. If you're gonna do the gig, grab a tool and dig, yeah. Well, looky here, it's not complete, but I got to let you know I'm really in the flow. I couldn't look back on where I've been. I see progress being made and music being played. Sometimes I battle for every note, and I got to find a rhyme, and I'm running out of time. Yet this struggle won't get me down, 'cause I laugh at every verse, and this song is getting worse. Let's get serious and lighten up. Don't worry about a thing. Everybody sing. Let's get serious and lighten up. If it don't get done today, we shall find another way. Let's get serious and lighten up. If you're gonna do the gig, grab a tool and dig. Let's get serious and lighten up. Channeling our 70s roots.
That's what I like about Michael. He's always so calm.
I just exude peacefulness.
That's right. So let us now bless our offering.